I'm inspired by every contemporary unfoldings around me, and I also have this idea of philosophical idea of probably portraying a certain view about life. Everything is inspiration to me. Mainly things that actually inspires me, it's life.
Hello guys, welcome to Masarira Made Me Cook. My name is Prince Sivalo. If you're new to the channel, please press on the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on the bell notification so that you don't miss any of our videos. Today on the show, we're featuring award-winning artist George Masarira, who is a visual artist based in the city of Bulawayo. George also is the chairperson of the Visual Artists Association of Bulawayo. So today on Masarira Made Me Cook, we're going to get schooled by George. Welcome to the show. George, Ushapra. So tell us, who's George Masarira, and welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for letting me probably to come here. So George Masarira is a visual artist. I also do installations. Okay. And I'm a young man, aged 30, born in Gokwele in Mashonaland, okay, but Bulawayo inside.
Let's talk about just to the art now. Where did the love, the passion for art, where did it come from?
You know, you don't choose these things. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how nature does its wonders, and you find you've got passion for something. Yeah, like a calling, I can say that. So to me, when I grew up, everything to me was creating something.
Okay. Let's talk about Mziliga's arts and craft. That's where your passion was developed. How was the experience learning there, going there? Yeah.
I started going at Mziliga's art and craft in 2007, 2008. Those were like high times for everyone else. That school, when I went there, it wasn't in a good condition, but the idea of going to the school was to acquire knowledge and also get the idea of saying what's art, what's not art. So the experience was a learning curve to me. It was something that I can even say I had to even teach myself some of the things that I thought they were not feasible. Yeah. So, yeah.
Also, I'm looking at your space, your studio, man. Studio 6, National Art Gallery, Bulawayo. Nice space. When did you come here? How's the experience working at the gallery?
So the thing is, the reason why I decided to come to this space, to this creative space, was to learn. Because I didn't know anything when I ventured into the arts. Because the whole idea about this art thing, you need to be able to learn. So I wanted those like constructive criticism, and also come to mingle with the people who are actually in the industry for a long time, so that you can also learn one or two things along the process. So that's the reason, that's the main thing that made me come here. Okay. Yeah.
Thanks for coming to the show.
Sure.
2 questions for you. So I just want to look at George's contribution. My question is George's contribution to the Visual Artists Association and also at Art Gallery at large. Then my second question will be, when are you reopening and what can we expect when the gallery opens again?
Our tentative reopening date is 30th November 2020. It's unprecedented for the gallery to have been shut down for so long a period. You know, since the 20th of March 2020, we've been on lockdown, but we've since been given the go-ahead to reopen. And I think the highlight as we reopen is to present the revamped space. And then as we open, we are also presenting a new type of exhibition which speaks to the digital art. We're in the 21st century, it's the 4th industrial revolution. So we have, progressed towards digital forms of artistic expression. So we will be opening with a power play exhibition. That is the title, Power Play. It's in partnership with Apite Gallery. Apite is a gallery in London. They specialize in digital art. You further ask about the contribution, about one George Masarira, whom I know has been a studio holder for the last 8 to 9 years. That on its own is a contribution to its space. The fact that it has lasted that long. You know, the gallery receives a lot of visitors, and they come to see what our artists are doing in their studios. So he has been available to share his practice to guests that are visiting the space. Okay. So that is the first point to note. And then, of course, as a young emerging artist, he stands out through his energy and exuberance. We note his energy and vibrancy in terms of being our sounding board. You know, a sounding board is someone who comes to share their insights and aspirations, seeking to influence our programming and exhibition making. And that is one thing that I know. He exudes energy, like I said, and is not shy to share with us. And of late, he has also become the chairman of the Visual Artists Association of Bulawayo. And I've noted their active social media presence in terms of enhancing the online visibility of artists in Bulawayo, which indeed is an important intervention within the visual arts ecosystem. So the expectation is that going forward, we'll see even more robust and tangible interventions from him working with his committee. And as an institution, we can only wish him well and support him to the extent possible.
Your fashion sense, man, I'm so inspired. Where do you draw your, let's talk about your love for shoes.
The idea about shoes, yeah, you know, I come from one of the poorest families ever, and I still remember when I started making my own dollar. The first thing that I thought of was to buy myself a shoe, because I had this shoe that I was going with inside church. Yeah, it was boggy and other things. Then I said to myself, I want to buy myself things that I don't have. So shoes were one of those things, and I love shoes. The fashion sense side, I think if you are a creative, you tend to love some of, you just like the way that other people they look. I don't have anyone that I can say inspired me to this kind of. So I wanted to create a look that can be a pitch, even if I go to a certain conference or somewhere, so that people they get, because the way that you look, that's the way that people are going to, yeah,
sort of address you.
Exactly, yeah. As an African man, this brings and how wealthy you think you are, yeah, but, and even silver at the same time. So my colors very scattering, even if you notice, it's silver and copper. These things I don't wear them for fashion or anything. They dala vele umuntu wensundu ebegqokiswa nguyise lokho as a symbol of probably protection and other things. And I have some of the things like this one, the one that I am wearing with gold and silver and copper.
We found you working out, which is I also love working out in the morning. Yeah. How's your morning routine? What do you do in the morning?
In the morning, I wake up early in the morning and I find my dog waiting for me. He actually knows what time I wake up. Then I go to the gym. And I just love being with local guys. That's where the reality strikes, you know. There are so many people who love faking their life and they act fancy and other things. And I learn a lot from the people, because that's where every reality and that's where some of my inspirations they come from. They come from the stories that I see in the hood. They come from stories that I see in the township and even in the city here. So, yeah. Exactly.
So I'm Kelvin Madlala Mguni, umngane George. So yeah, George to me is more than a friend. We've become more than brothers. And with George, we've had so much fun together, but most importantly, it goes beyond more fun. We've worked together on a number of projects, George, which include the organization African Food Revolution, where we've worked on the Amangqina Food Expo. We've also worked on the launch of a book at the Rainbow, all this under African Food Revolution, which is an organization which we have established, and of course, Prince Valo, you know. So to me, George is an amazing guy I've learned a lot from, and we always encourage each other. We talk about life, dreams, and ambitions in a frank and candid way. And if there's a guy who's honest with with a person with his friends is George. We always say, guys, let's still an so that we grow each other, Lord George. And another thing which binds me, Lord George, is the love of culture, food, and art. George is a cultural activist, and we connect that so much in terms of that because I'm also into food, culture, and art. To me, George is an amazing friend and mkhulu lo msebenzi. Yeah.
Tell me the title of this painting, and also, and my other broad question is the inspiration.
So on this piece, if you observe, like it's a woman, and which is a symbol of where every man comes from, you know.
Symbol of power.
Exactly. So this piece, I titled Ungubani.
Okay.
Like, who are you? In Skiwa. So I'm questioning the idea of reality and why are we identified by a number. That's the reason why you see the barcodes and the letters and other things. So I'm trying to even get into a deeper perspective of saying, who are you as a human being?
Okay.
What purpose do you have in this earth? But every man who is a leader, every man who is suffering, every man who is rich, every man who is wealthy comes from this reality.
So let me talk about also, where did you do your first solo exhibition?
I did it with a lady called Daphne Lafrentes. She had an idea of opening an art gallery. So I was the artist that was ventured into probably saying I'm going to be the artist of the face of the gallery.
Okay. To Injustice. I assume that's the title of the painting.
I don't want us to sound like very political, but because it's reality. This is a documentation of a certain history that I think people have to know. So along the process, my analysis was probably there was an element of injustice during the time when these people were living, you know. So I had to do a piece that has got a puzzle, and it has got questions and questions, you know.
Like probes.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
So, George, I didn't know you're a musician. Right, you're now competing with me. No, I'm joking, I'm not a musician. But so you, the track, tell us about the track and the other side of George the musician.
Okay, the thing is, the music side started from church. I used to sing at church. And singing in the church is just, it was a matter of just saying, I want to also take part. Yeah. Then, by going and spending time with those guys, then I find this young man who is very passionate with music. Then he came to me and said, Prachi. They call me Prachi. Yeah, shortened from Brother George, you know. So they say, George, don't you want to give just to give a try or do a track? Yeah, so the track itself is called Abacha. So the whole idea was to say the young people in nowadays, they're in a hurry, they're fast, they're living in a fast life. So it was a fusion of these young men collaborating with these young guys and myself, the older version of me. I grew up in those times whereby young people were not so much in a hurry, you know.
Tell us, what is your favorite traditional food, man?
I mean, I think food is art. Food is art, and we become what we eat. And also, I love the idea of identity along the process. Also, through art, we portray the same thing. We are black people, we share our own stories, and I'm trying to run away from self-hate. I don't hate myself as a black man. Even things that I eat, I want them to make a set. It's challenge. Nantanje samabili. So ntanje isitshwala lamangqina. So ngisithanda kakhulu sise umchephe yazi yeah. Konkani ukuthi kudala sasidliwa njani ngoba umchephe creates a certain ubuntu yabona. Thina ndathi mele sicine, we must continue to be strong. Lathi kuyafana nje empilweni uthokoze ngokuba ngikho kwakho ukuthi ungubani, where you come from. Those things that are going to make you a better person, yeah. Cheers, my friend.
Okay, thank you for watching Art is a way of life, and we just learned so many things from George Masarira today. So importantly, George was nominated for the Pan-African Emerging Painting Prize, which is a collective of art galleries here on the continent. Okay, so I'll leave a link to George Masari's social media links and also website if you want to support and also follow this great artist's work. Taking note from one of George's pieces, Itemba. Please, if you're watching Tasekaya, ungalahli Itemba. This is Prince Sivalo Mahlangu signing out. Remember, keep the love, keep the wound. Peace.